All right, man. Moving on to the 8 o'clock slate. We got a good one here in the Apple Cup. We'll also get your opinion on some of the other big matchups. But 8 p.m. prime time, we got Mike Leach and company, Washington State Cougars against Washington in the Apple Cup. Like we said, looks like Washington laying 9, 48.5 the total. How you looking to bet the Apple Cup, man?
Yeah, so I like the side. I like laying the points in this one for Washington. This team has been incredible over the last 2 years. They have a top five defense by my numbers. That's adjusted yards per play. Their offense has even been better than they were last year. Of course, they took a complete game off against Arizona, and they ended up losing that game. They lost the game down at Stanford, which was by far their toughest game of the season. But efficiency wise, this Washington team is really good. Washington State's been incredible too. Their defense has really taken a step forward this year. You always kind of wonder if that's a little bit of a fluke with a Mike Leach team. The offense has actually stepped back a little bit, but I think just when I look at points per game adjusted for strength of schedule, which is what I have in my team rankings. When I look at yards per play adjusted for strength of schedule, when I look at my market rankings, they all point to Washington being at least 7 or 8 points better than Washington State on a neutral site. When you factor in that Washington is going to be at home, it suggests taking the points on Washington in this Apple Cup game. A couple things that you might want to think about in this game as well. Washington State had a week off last week, which certainly helps them. Another thing of motivation is that Washington's out of the running for the Pac-12 North. If they win this game, Stanford will win the Pac-12 North. If they lose this game, Washington State will win the Pac-12 North. So there's a little bit less motivation for Washington, but I can't see how that matters in a rivalry game. I mean, this is a game that you have circled on your calendar the entire season. I think Washington comes out motivated. They have a whole team there. I think they get it done. I think they can run away with this one.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ed. I mean, motivation to take it out of that, I wouldn't factor that in very much at all. And I agree. I mean, motivation, I would just say is the same for both teams. Would you not?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think the rest matters. Washington had a pretty tough game against Utah. I think this line would be a lot more if Washington hadn't lost 2 weeks ago at Stanford, a game which they completely dominated the first half. And then they had a pretty rough game against Utah last week too, a tight game at home that they ended up winning. I think there's a lot of recency bias in what we're seeing in this line. I think we need to remember that Washington has been an incredible team over about I don't know 28 some games now. Even if they haven't played the best of schedules, they've been an incredible team, and I think that needs to be factored in here.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.